I've been waiting for you.
So, what's our situation?
I assume you've been briefed? Our targets are inside. 4 synths under railroad protection. Majority of the settlement is uninvolved and are expected to run for cover. The situation appears to have escalated. A covert approach is likely impossible. We move in, secure the synths...
Uh-huh. Hey, I'm gonna need some of your grenades. Hand them over.
Very well. Our targets are being sheltered by a man named Stockton. Limited backup will be available to us. Use these only if necessary. Here are the recall codes. Follow me. SRB intelligence reports indicate that the synths are being held below the main structure in the... Emissions parameters just changed. We're going shooting. Requesting backup relay now.
Only opens with a key.
Is someone present? Distance close. Engage. An enemy may be utilizing stealth. Destruction is inevitable.
Yeah?
Yes? Yes?
Hi, how are you?
I can't believe you do that for us. Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you for sparing us.
Hey.
You've given us another chance at life. We won't forget it.
Hi.
We'll get somewhere safe as soon as you're gone.
Huh?
Huh?
Wake up, Commonwealth. Synths are not your enemy. They are victims in this war as well. True, they were created by the Institute, but they were created as slaves. Thinking, feeling, and dreaming beings, utterly oppressed by their tyrannical masters. So join with us in fighting the real enemy, the Institute. Join the Railroad. When you're ready for that next step, don't worry. We'll find you.
From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
Son,
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
it wasn't always like this. It used to be different.
I can only imagine. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
But why refreeze me?
As a failsafe, of course. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you, to not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
So it was you. You let me out.
Yes. It was my decision. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? As it has everything else. Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
Sean, you need to know. I still love you.
I can see that you do. Well, it's remarkable. Soon, I hope you'll understand. Everything I've done has been for the future. A future which I hope is not in jeopardy after recent events. Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain what happened?
We were totally ambushed. They were waiting for us.
You can imagine that I find that very hard to believe, given that all the intelligence leading up to this indicated we'd taken them by surprise. Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset to the Institute. It will now only raise suspicions. And to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved in this? They had no way of knowing what was going on. I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Things are already in motion that this would only derail. Speaking of which, it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
Sean.
Good evening.
Welcome. Do you require additional supplies?
Let's see what you got.
I apologize for any disruptions that my work might cause you.
Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important. Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir. Excuse me, but... what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
Of course.
Really? Well, there's no shame in being out of the loop, as it were. The project has been classified for quite a long time. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real. With every advance the Institute makes, our many compromises and sacrifices have been...
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power from above, but no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor.
Sure.
It will ensure not just our survival.
Can you tell me more about this reactor?
Certainly. It was originally built for the Commonwealth Institute of Tech. Over the years, we've advanced the technology, made a great many improvements, and are finally nearly ready to activate it. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please, as I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
What?
Can't
Please,
be serious.
everyone, please, I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
This can't be happening. I only just found you.
I've had the same thoughts more than a few times. But we cannot let this stop us. Our work must continue. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
Seems a poor choice.
How can you possibly justify this? He isn't one of us. He isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
Humanity's future is taking root right here.
Our technology must seem pretty advanced by your standards.
I'm glad you could be here to share this with me.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once.
I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
What would it mean to be in charge?
Most divisions of the Institute are fairly autonomous. Where those divisions interact, however, problems can arise. There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need reassurances about your appointment. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details. There are hard decisions ahead for all of us, but for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
Son.
I dislike resorting to the use of Commonwealth technology, but the advantage it will provide in this case cannot be overlooked.
Unit X688 speaks highly of your combat skills.
Humanity's future is taking root right here.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
I need some details here. I have no idea what I'm getting into.
Of course, that's why we're talking. Otherwise, you'd be up top already. Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our #1 priority. We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely. You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
What's a beryllium agitator?
The details would be lost on you. No offense. The point is, it'll allow us to boost the reactor's power and get it running sooner than planned. You just keep me safe. I'll worry about the agitator.
Is that really necessary? I'm sure I can handle this by myself.
Yes, it really is. Not only is this tech sensitive, it's old. Look, I'll take care of it. You just make sure I come back in one piece.
Sounds good. I'd appreciate the company.
Not as much as I'd appreciate coming back in one piece. I don't like going above ground unless there's no other option. But here we are, with our options dwindling quickly. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this. Word is that the Brotherhood is nosing around the area. We don't want them getting the agitator before we do. Head on up to the relay, and I'll meet you there.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
When are you going to tell me about this mysterious Phase 3?
You know I can't talk about that.
really like reading. You can learn all sorts of things from books.
Hi, Sean.
I heard you're going to be in charge of the Institute someday. That sounds like a lot of work. Are you excited or scared?
You heard that, did you? From who?
Oh, I heard Dr. Higgs saying that you weren't qualified, and we'd all be lucky if we lived another 2 years. He's so funny sometimes.
You look like you're keeping busy. What's new?
Dr. Watson says he's going to teach me about lasers soon. I always wondered how they work.
Hi, Sean.
I heard you're going to be in charge of the Institute someday. That sounds like a lot of work. Are you excited or scared?
Maybe a little scared. It's a very big responsibility.
Yeah. Father says that the Institute is the only hope for people left in the world. And if you're in charge, that means that it's all your fault if something got messed up.
Tell me some more about Father.
Father? He doesn't come to visit very much these days. And even when he does, he usually just talks.
Hi, Sean.
I heard you're going to be in charge of the Institute someday. That sounds like a lot of work. Are you excited or scared?
I'm excited, I guess.
Yeah, I think I would be too. Because then, like, you can make Dr. Watson tell me all the secrets he's hiding. Or you could tell Quentin that he has to be nice to me from now on. That'd be neat.
You seem like you're always in a good mood, kid.
Well, sure. Why wouldn't I be?
Hi, Sean.
I heard you're going to be in charge of the Institute someday. That sounds like a lot of work. Are you excited or scared?
Right now, kid, I'm bored with this conversation. Come on.
Okay, maybe we could talk more later.
Hi, Sean.
I heard you're going to be in charge of the Institute someday. That sounds like a lot of work. Are you excited or scared?
Maybe a little scared. It's a very big
Yeah. Father says that the and if you're in charge...
Mm-hmm. You look like you're keeping busy. What's new?
Dr. Watson says he's going to teach me...
Uh-huh.
This is day 8 of Trial 6. The last week has been very productive, but exhausting. I think we'll need a break after this. Benet has done some really marvelous work with the personality mesh. It's almost too good. The responses map almost identically to expectations, some of the most lifelike I've seen. Of course, it's not really Sean. None of his memories are in there. That, even now, would be a step too far. It's starting to have an effect on the team, I think. I know I've been caught up in the moment once or twice. Just a second or two, forgetting that he's not a real boy. Still, I think we'll need to consider restricting him to the lab only for the moment. I'm well aware that others are put off by his presence. If I were slightly more arrogant, I might consider that a sign of success.
Excuse me, Dr. Lee?
You again. What do you want now? You're obviously here for a reason, and you've already spoiled my experiment, so you might as well spit it out.
You're the scientist. Why do you think I'm here?
Well, let's see. A Brotherhood of Steel airship arrives in the Commonwealth. You find a way to intercept our teleport signal, and now you show up at my door. I knew it was just a matter of time before your people would track me down. I've been looking over my shoulder for almost...
Why would we want you dead?
I did some pretty sensitive work for the Brotherhood of Steel. Even though Lyons let me go, there were a few others in the ranks that thought I knew too much. That's why I came to the Institute. It was the only place that I thought I'd be out of the Since Father I might not agree with everything he says, but I know he'd never allow harm to come my way. Say what you came here to say, and then leave me alone.
Are you happy here?
You'd think being surrounded by cutting-edge laboratory equipment and some of the greatest minds the world's ever known would be enough. Only problem is the lack of transparency. I don't think we get the full story on everything that occurs down here. What does that have to do with why we're talking?
You're wasting your time working for the Institute.
Oh, wait a second. You're asking me to rejoin them, aren't you? Why the hell would they want me back?
The Brotherhood is having problems, and we need your help.
I don't see how that's my problem. Tell me something. Why would I possibly want to come crawling back to the Brotherhood? What reason would I have to throw away everything I've accomplished here?
I was just told to get you to come back.
The Brotherhood wants me back, and the best they can do is send a robot that does nothing but follow orders? Sorry, but you're going to have to do a lot better than that.
I give up. What would it take to convince you?
All right, I'll play your game. I had a colleague down here. Several months ago, there was an accident. I wanted to help with the investigation, but the incident never sat right with me. If you bring me solid information on what killed him, I'll take it. Do we have a deal?
since we talked. I'm feeling swell. Look at the two of us here in Sanctuary. Prepared for the future.
Hey, now that you're back here in Sanctuary, how would you like a job?
They didn't tell me much. Vault Tech. Just to make sure everyone filled out their forms. I was supposed to win a pack of steak knives.
Let's trade some things.
Look at you. 2 centuries, and your skin's as smooth as a baby.
I just want to trade a few things.
You know, things are looking up. I can feel it this time.
Hope you ain't one of them synths.
Sturgis,
here to spy.
remember that holotape with all the Institute data? I need it back.
Oh, yeah? Why? What have you got cooking?
I'm working on something with the Brotherhood of Steel. They want to look at the data I got from the Institute. Sturgis, remember that holotape with all the Institute data? I need it back.
Oh, yeah? Why? What have you got cooking?
I'm working on something with the Brotherhood of Steel. They want to look at the data I got from the Institute.
The Brotherhood, huh? I sure hope you know what you're doing. Here you go. I've already made myself a copy.
If it looks dead, put one more in its head for good measure. Why take the chance?
Unless you like getting radiation sickness, I'd stay away from ferrets.
Proctor Ingram, the Institute wants me to get something called a beryllium agitator from the ruins of mass fusion.
A beryllium agitator? I seem to remember reading an old technical document on those. It must be pretty darn important if they're sending you to find one. You know, if we head over to mass fusion right now, we may be able to get the device before the Institute does. That's if you don't mind a little company, of course.
Why would you want to go?
Are you kidding me? Mass fusion was on the cutting edge of atomic technology. And considering there hasn't been much in the way of engineering advancements lately, that makes it a goddamn gold mine. I'm not gonna miss an opportunity like that.
It's your funeral.
Well, with a big bad soldier like you watching me, grab whatever gear you need and meet me. This could be our best chance at beating.
Proctor Ingram?
Hope you're geared up. Otherwise, this is gonna be a short trip.
What's your problem? You gonna say anything?
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirmed the only hope for...
It wasn't always like this. It used to be different.
I can only imagine. Standing here. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. Both of us, really.
Kellogg called me the backup.
Did he? I was the perfect candidate.
Right.
Well, the Institute, it only made sense, I'll admit, to not only do extraordinary.
So it was you?
Yes. Certainly it was an experiment. I had no... with the Commonwealth, perhaps most...
Sean, you need to know.
I can see that soon, I hope. I hope a future which Bunker Hill did not...
We were totally ambushed.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this, the only hope.
Stupid old man. It wasn't always like this.
I can only imagine.
Uh-huh.
Standing here.
Uh-huh.
I know that to you, I was... Both of us, really.
Kellogg called...
Did he? I was the perfect. Well, the Institute realized it only made sense that, I'll admit, to not only do so, extraordinary.
So it was you?
Yes. Certainly it was no longer an experiment. I had no idea.
Enough.
Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? Perhaps most curious.
Sean, you need to know.
I can see that you do. Soon, I hope. A future which I hope is not in jeopardy after recent events. Bunker Hill did not go well for us. Would you care to explain what happened?
It's my fault. I wasn't able to complete the mission.
I gave you this opportunity to prove yourself. Particularly to prove to the Directorate that you deserve a place here.
That will now be significantly harder. There will be accusations that you deliberately sabotaged the mission.
Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable... and to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved. I will refrain from sharing the out. Speaking of which... it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
What's up?
Sturgis, remember that holotape with all the Institute data? I need it back.
Oh, yeah? Why? What have you got cooking?
I'm working on something with the Brotherhood of Steel. They want to look at the data I got from the Institute.
The Brotherhood, huh? I sure hope you know what you're doing. Here you go. I've already made myself a copy.
If it was up to me, I'd take every barrel, beauty, and scent and shoot them in space.
Proctor, I came across a holotape with a full scan of the Institute's network.
Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in one piece. I wasn't sure what the Interceptor would do to you.
I wasn't worried. After all, I built the device myself.
I have confidence in everything I built, too. But that's because I'll only deal with technology that I understand. Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'll get this holotape to Proctor Quinlan. I'm dying to find out what's on it.
Hopefully, it'll reveal a weakness in their defenses.
That would be the best-case scenario. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what Quinlan's scribes can get off of it. I'm sure the Institute has all of their data heavily encrypted, so it's gonna take some time to crack. After that, we'll have to see what we've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe. In the meantime, your mission to recruit Dr. Lee still needs to be completed. I believe Elder Maxson gave you all of the details. Good luck, Knight.
Identity.
Strong hope we find milk of human kindness soon.
Damn fog's got in my lungs.
Ah, my favorite meat shield.
Need to get back to Diamond City one of these days. Biggest town I ever saw.
Is this a better time for that talk?
I understood. And I...
Oh, it's just...
Our friendship means...
I do. I guess. Is there something you need?
How are you feeling?
I'm glad to have the chance to return the favor. Just let me know if there's any...
Would you like
No,
a cold
nothing.
All right.
one, or did you want
good shape,
a
considering.
show?
World is
I hope you're
bigger
finding the
than
broadcast
strong
useful.
I want to trade a few things.
Howdy, General.
You can count on me.
Paladin Dance.
Ready to continue our mission, soldier?
Ready.
Roger that. I can't believe I'm standing on the spot where history was made.
Keep
Hey.
going.
What do you want?
Strong board. Might
You need to
start
talk?
Smashing everything.
Your thoughts?
so
Remember,
bored.
we're out here representing.
Sure. Your thoughts?
If we want to win the people's hearts and minds,
Your thoughts?
strange how the Commonwealth changed.
Your thoughts?
You're more than worthy to wear our uniform.
Your thoughts?
There's a wealth of technology.
Your thoughts?
Thanks to you,
Your thoughts?
there's brotherhood.
Your thoughts?
I think you should stay on point.
How do you feel about our relationship?
I'm glad you've adapted to the ideals I've been trying to teach. Keep up the good work, soldier.
How do you feel about our relationship?
You're one hell of a soldier, and I'm proud to call you my friend.
How do you feel about us?
You've earned my respect, soldier. I hope that means something to you.
That's all for now.
Very well.
Remember to practice good sanitation habits at all times.
Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's important. Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
I don't think so.
It's all right. I wouldn't expect you to have. The project has been classified from the beginning. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power, but no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Sounds like an important step.
That's... well... That's an understatement. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please. As I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
What?
Can't
Please,
be serious.
everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
Why would you joke about this? It isn't funny.
Were it a joke, I'd agree it's in poor form. But I'm afraid it's not. We can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really? Seems a poor choice.
How can you possibly justify this? He isn't one of us.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
It's great to have you here.
We don't usually welcome outsiders. I hope you can appreciate your good fortune.
Clayton.
I'm glad you're here. I'd like to conduct an experiment, but I need some assistance with it. I believe we can improve the growth rates of our crops by using mutated cells. To test this theory, I'll need a tissue sample. I expect I'll eventually need several such samples.
You need a tissue sample from a strong super mutant. Got it.
That's right. Now remember, only a particularly hardy super mutant will fit the bill for this experiment. I don't need it right away, but if you do come across such a specimen, I'd be grateful if you could bring back a sample.
This truly is a wonderful place, isn't it?
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once.
I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
I don't know if I'm right for this.
Well, I clearly have faith in you. There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need reassurances about your appointment. That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. Dr. Fillmore can fill you in on the details. There are hard decisions ahead, for all of us. But for you especially. I know that you'll do the right thing.
I have every confidence you'll make a fine director.
Just as you gave life to Father, he gave life to many of us.
I asked my friends if they'd take up arms for their freedom. I was surprised at the number of volunteers. Perhaps once the fighting begins, many others will join us. But
We will fight and die very quickly unless we have... Given the right materials, we can make our own crude but serviceable weapons. Unfortunately, we're missing a few critical ingredients.
I have weapons I can give you.
Excellent. Deposit anything you can spare in Maintenance Closet 3B. But we need enough weapons to arm an entire rebellion. So the ingredients are still necessary.
What ingredients?
Gunpowder, laser focusing crystals, and a couple other things.
Couldn't we just steal some weapons?
All munitions are tightly guarded by the SRB. Even if we managed to take some, it would certainly... And surprise is essential to everything.
Tell me how I can help.
We've come up with a plan to get what we need. The Institute's always expanding. Excavation just completed on one of the sublevels. The mining equipment has been packed into crates and they haven't been moved yet. That equipment has everything we need. Thanks to Mr. Binet, the construction crew is populated solely by my friends. But they're under constant supervision. How do you feel about killing some guards?
Who's guarding them?
A good number of early model synths. Will that be a problem?
I'll do it, if it's necessary.
We could come up with no other way. After you eliminate the guards, we'll move the supplies and blow up the tunnels behind us. To the SRB, it will be a tragic construction accident that killed many synths. Rare, but not unheard of. And then, our dead friends can assemble the weapons we need. Good luck.
Scanning. Unknown identity. Clearance confirmed.
Greetings, sir.
Nice work, bringing that rogue synth back.
I'm looking forward to the next mission. Can't afford to let your guard down, no matter how quiet things seem. Ready for the next mission, sir?
Have you got all the gear you need?
Locked and loaded, sir.
Let's move out.
Right behind you, sir. Ready for the next mission, sir?
Let's move out.
Right behind you, sir.
Hey.
Unit X688 speaks highly of your combat skills.
From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
Have you seen J522 around? He didn't show up for duty today, and I can't seem to find him.
Did you check robotics? He was probably scheduled for routine maintenance. I wouldn't worry about it.
I thought so too, but he wasn't in the log, and everyone I've asked hasn't seen him. He's never just missed his shift like that.
What are you saying?
I'm worried something might have happened to him. No one knows where he is. It's like he just disappeared. It doesn't feel right.
Shh. Keep your voice down. You know what happens if they hear you talking like this. They'll wipe you. I suggest you keep this to yourself.
But what if something's wrong? Look around. Courser patrols have doubled. Synths are being wiped more frequently. Something is going on.
I don't want to hear anymore. Do whatever you want. Just leave me out of it.
Father has done remarkable things. I would not exist were it not for him.
Hey there.
I wouldn't be here if not for your son.
Father is more than just our leader. He is our creator.
Hi.
I can't express how truly humbling it is to stand in your presence.
Excuse
Really
me,
need
I've got
all
reports
these
to deliver.
coursers roaming the halls?
Come now, Alan, it could have been anything. It was probably just a glitch in the nervous system. The fine motor control software could use an update. If it were just a limb twitching, perhaps. But her eyes were moving as well. Involuntary twitching and rapid eye movements while sleeping can only mean one thing, Max. You just don't want to admit to yourself what it is.
If you're about to launch into one of your impassioned speeches
don't
about
get any germs
artificial
on me.
sentience and machines with souls, don't bother. I've heard enough of them by now. Hell, I could write them down from memory.
But we can't just ignore the question. If a synth can dream, why can't it have a soul? And if a synth has a soul, then it is a living person by every standard we can measure. Of course it is far more comfortable to think of them as machines, so we can do what we want with them.
If you disapprove of the work we do here, Dr. Benet, you know where to find the teleporter.
Just a moment. I never said that. I'm simply trying to open everyone's eyes to new possibilities.
Well, it's an unwanted distraction. We're men of science, not philosophers. You do well to remember that.
The synths are treating you well, I hope?
The synths aren't just Father's legacy. They're his gift to humanity.
Hi, Doc.
You've arrived at a momentous time. Our third-generation synths are a true breakthrough. The culmination of centuries of research. It's no exaggeration to say that they're superior in almost every way to human beings.
What makes them superior?
The list of improvements is exhaustive. I can imagine what you could accomplish if you could live without fear of hunger. Imagine what you could create if you could spend every waking moment of your life as you saw fit. Like I said.
Max.
All our division.
I suppose congratulations.
I tend to think of robotics as the first among equals.
Doc.
Ah, hello. If I may take a moment of your time, we're having some trouble on the surface. There's a den of those abominable feral ghouls that's been threatening one of our scavenger teams. We've had to recall the synth scavengers until the situation can be dealt with. Hopefully by you.
I'll take care of those feral ghouls for you.
I'm very grateful for your help. I have no first-hand experience with these creatures, of course, but I've heard that they can be quite vicious. They are also quite territorial, so you should prepare for a fight. Good luck.
Excuse me.
All new synths must be processed without delay.
We're quite fortunate to have the synths to aid us.
Hope you're settling in.
When are you going to tell me about this mysterious Phase 3?
You know I can't talk about that.
Report anything suspicious to the SRB.
Being director's a big job. I hope you'll take it seriously.
Alana.
I'm glad you're here. I just got some bad news, and you should probably hear it. A raider gang just hit one of our scavenger teams. The bastards captured a Gen 1 synth. Our tracking shows that it's still functioning, but we don't have the assets to spare for a rescue.
I'll deal with those raiders.
I knew I could count on you. Take this transmitter. Report back when the raiders are gone.
My compliments on getting B592 back to us so quickly.
Justin.
If you're going to be in Diamond City anytime soon, I have a favor to ask of you. You might not be aware of it, but the city's mayor is a synth, an Institute plant. He monitors developments in the Commonwealth and compiles reports on matters. Since you visit the surface more than anyone else down here, I figured you could pick up the latest report.
How do we do this without raising suspicions?
You'll meet with the mayor privately, away from prying eyes. The mayor will be waiting in his office. He'll give you the report, and then you'll bring it back to me. Remember, discretion is vital to our operations in Diamond City, so try to keep a low profile.
Yes?
carrying too much. That's going to hamper your combat effectiveness.
Hey.
Yeah?
You in the spotlight, me in the shadows.
Good defenses here.
Look out, world.
I can see why the Minutemen once used this as their headquarters.
I really should study my lines.
What a different world it'd be. Folks just listen to the wisdom of the past.
Good. I was starting to get bored. Back to work. Engaging target. I'm hit. This won't take long. Why do they even try? Every cap matters, right?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
The future of mankind has never looked brighter.
I suppose congratulations are in order.
Those feral ghouls won't be a problem anymore.
Splendid. And you hardly seem the worse for wear. Remarkable. Father said that you were a soldier. You must have been a good one.
I won my share of medals.
I don't doubt it. Not even a bit. Thanks to you, I can finally send that scavenger team back to the surface. Of course, there are feral ghouls hiding all over the Commonwealth. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before we have to deal with them again. If you're willing to undertake another extermination, come and see me. I can always use the help. Today is full of possibilities.
Yeah?
Excuse me.
As the Institute's first personal synth, I try to set a good example.
What's a personal synth?
Dr. Benet is carrying out a social experiment. He wants... I know I can never replace his wife, or be a real mother to... I like to think I'm a... It was a real...
Eve.
Yes?
Hey.
As the Institute's first personal synth, I try to set a good example.
If all personal synths are as good looking as you, I should get one for myself.
Why, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. I don't know that I can be of much help with that, but the compliment has certainly made my day. It was a real pleasure to meet you. I'm sure you're still taking everything in, so I'll let you get back to that.
Eve.
Huh?
Excuse me, Doctor.
We're quite fortunate to have the synths to aid us.
Just as you gave life to Father, he gave life to many of us.
For goodness sake, be reasonable. I know you can hear me, now open this door.
What's the use?
What's going on?
Dr. Higgs and Dr. Loken have decided to protest your appointment as Father's successor. They've taken control of the bioscience security systems and...
That kind of insubordination can't be tolerated.
Have they made any demands?
Not yet, but I expect they'll demand that you renounce all ties to the Institute.
Maybe I can reason with them.
I believe I can help with that. I can unlock the maintenance tunnel that leads to the bioscience observation room. From there, you should be able to communicate with Higgs and Logan. If you can't reason with them, you can use this holotape to access the command functions on the observation room terminal. That should give you some options. Just please, try to talk to them first. Use violence only as a last resort. Here we are. Just give me a moment. There, it's unlocked.
Newton.
I'm sure some of the others will question your appointment as our next director. Don't let it bother you.
Movement detected.
No reading detected by order. Damage.
Every cap matters, right? Good. I was starting to get bored. Back to work. Hostiles nearby. Not sure where, though.
Aha! I thought I heard something. Made it past the guards, Impressive.
Lawrence.
If you've come to change our minds, then you're wasting your time.
I know you're angry, but there's a better way to handle this.
Oh, you're wrong. You see, I've tried talking. For years, I've suggested that we do things differently here, but nobody listens. Let's see if anyone can afford to ignore me now.
Father believes in me. The least you can do is give me a chance.
How could you hope to lead us when you hardly know anything about what we do? I'm sure you mean well, but you must see that it's an impossible task.
I'm under no illusion that this will be easy.
Your determination is admirable, if misguided. The truth is simply this. You have no idea what it means to be the director of the Institute.
Can't you at least give me a chance?
A chance? What do you think, Max?
Even the most fastidious researcher must sometimes take a leap of faith. I say let's give it a try.
Very well, then. Open the door, and let's return to the fold.
Synths, abort command override and resume normal functions.
Can't pick this.
You have a lot to learn if you're really going to be the next director of the Institute.
Dr. Loken.
I honestly thought Dr. Lee or Dr. Holdren would be appointed to succeed Father.
The rest see me as little more than a glorified repairman, but I'm as much a scientist as any of them.
Dr. Higgs.
We have several people qualified to become the next director. Father's lost his mind.
Bravo! I admit I was fearing for the worst, but I can see that I underestimated you.
I'm just glad they listened to reason.
Indeed. There is one further matter to discuss. Obviously, some kind of disciplinary action must be taken here. The question of what form it takes is up to you.
Put them on probation. Limit their access to quarters and non-working areas.
That's more than fair. I'll see to it that everyone's notified.
Good decision. Those men could still have a lot to contribute. They just need to learn their lesson.
I'll take that holotape back. I also wanted to offer you something as a more personal expression of gratitude. I know that your work often takes you to the surface where supplies are scarce. I gathered these items together for you. I think you'll find them useful.
Sounds like those raiders at Libertalia were quite a handful.
All maintenance requests should be directed to the Facilities Division.
Nice work bringing that rogue synth back.
From what I hear, that rogue synth at Libertalia was a real menace. Glad it's back where it belongs.
Father is more than just our
Well, hello.
Whatever you think I did, I didn't do it. Alice is a liar.
Bye.
I can't believe super mutants were human once. How could science have gone so wrong?
The farm's not much, but it's something. So damned hungry. Maybe I'll get another.
My back hurts, my feet hurt. Everything hurts.
I've had more than one runner's trail go cold in Bunker Hill. There's a high... looks solid.
Hey.
You ever see one of our caravans on the road? It's a dice with death every time.
Battle that took place here.
Hey.
What do you need? Here you go.
Your thoughts?
The Commonwealth is dying a slow death.
Your thoughts?
Can't afford to let your guard down.
That's all.
Sure.
Hey.
Sir.
Excuse me.
I'm listening.
How do you feel about our relationship?
That remains to be seen. I'm still evaluating you.
Oh, nothing.
Affirmative.
Hey.
Listen, Bunker Hill doesn't want any trouble. You have some seriously powerful friends. If it'll keep us on their good side, consider yourself to have the run of the place. And the next time you need something, just ask, all right?
Can we trade a few things?
Of course.
Hey, pal.
Best not to talk to the raiders. They can get rough.
just get loose.
Okay.
You gotta try this. Slot machine. It's the best.
Yeah?
What have you got to trade today?
I win again.
Hey.
Caravans ain't exactly the get-to-know-you type.
Hi.
You ever see one of our caravans on the road? Finally. My dad can stop belly aching about great-grandpappy. Thanks. Need a room?
So Bunker Hill just buys its way out of problems?
It's all they know. Caravan... Now, that doesn't mean a... Hey.
I'll think about it.
That rum goes fast.
You gotta try this. Slot machine, it's the best. I just can't lose.
I just want to trade a few things.
Sure.